Okay, so today launches Ark Survival Ascended's newest map. The story map, Extinction, has finally dropped for the first time. And, well, as much as it's been delayed substantially, we're going to take a look on whether or not the new DLC is worth your time, or if you think that, you don't want it. If you already have Bob's Tall Tales, this will just kind of give you an example of what has been going on with the newest upload. It is now the 20th, even though we were promised on the 16th, then the 19th, but it's fine. Everything looks super cool and run down. We're going to take a look here at the physical skins first, as they are one of the coolest building things for any of you creatives in the environment. This is the foundation. They're all placed on wood, however, they look the same on everything like that. It is one of the only ones with a variant. Kind of just rotates how it's looking, so you can give yourself a little bit more of a mixed view, as well as the walls and everything like that. Everything's all rusty and ragged looking because this is a Mad Max style DLC. This is just a quick overview and rundown of the spikes on the wall and the pillars here. They make everything get an old rusted look. With skulls as your aesthetic, with bones, chains, death, and everything going on. I do really like the look. My favorite parts about it are the dino gates. I do love the fact that they have like a mounted trike skull on the side with chains, and what kind of reminds me of pigeon spikes on the top that you would see in big cities. That's kind of funny, but I don't know, to keep your pterodons from landing there. And then your giant behemoth gates are even cooler with the, what do you call it? Those look like Rex skulls and spikes around the side. It's more gears and turning things, similar to the post-apocalyptic style of like Mad Max and everything like that. It is an overall pretty cool aesthetic. I think it's going to fit into the Extinction environment substantially better than, your generic Ark, aesthetics. Like the tech stuff and the stone stuff will look a little bit out of place. I know we have like the giant cityscape behind us, but it'll still look out of place. Next off, we're going to look at all the skins. It comes with 2 sets and then some variant hoods. This is your War Pig set. We're going... Ooh, no, I have to be a little bit more efficient with that. So this is your generic War Pig set. It looks, very, very Mad Max Raider style. I think that the goggles on it are a little goofy, but overall, this is your base set. It has the War Pig and the War Chief, and then, like I said, we'll take a look at some of the variant helmets before we take a look at the War Chief. So this is the Motorhead helmet. It is a little bit more of like your feathered top helm, and then side raider type aesthetic. And then we have, I think, my favorite one. I don't even know how to say this word. Crocosaurus, we'll call it. It has like a alligator-esque raptor-like look. It reminds me of the Ark, the skin that you get for defeating your Alpha Raptor for the first time in like ASE. It is probably along my favorite of the alternative ones. And then last but not least, I lied to you. There's another bucket face here. We'll take a look at that. But last but not least, after this helmet, we will have the War Chief, which overall I do enjoy the aesthetic. It's a little bit more bone-esque and less metallic. But here we can see that this is the bucket face helmet. Now, as much as I have to strip, let's throw all of this on. It is probably going to be the more funky one. I do think that it is very, very cool. I do love the bone aesthetic with the added in spikes. I do appreciate the gas mask around the neck. It does remind me of Borderlands' Psychos, but overall, we're going to run around in this one for the rest of this, explanation of the DLC. Up here is one of the new DLC items as well. It is the Blade Wasp Hive. It takes honey and sulfur, and it's supposed to help keep your base defended. It is going to have a bit of utility on it. I think keeping it supplied is going to be a more mid to late game. For its unlock, yeah, you get it at level 90, so I'm not sure the impact on PvP this is going to have, or PvE long term, as I am only a PvE player. I don't have time for PvP because who the hell does? But overall, it's going to attack and or target everything hostile in a certain area. I've had it on for a while while I was setting everything up, and this trike is still alive, so it goes to show that it doesn't attack your passives, or not your passives, the passives in the area. And then the new battle tower. This thing is your centerpiece. It is a huge mantle to PvP. Having this in your base is going to be interesting because it oh, damn, I activated fly by accident. It is going to show you everything that is more so like oriented to PvP. It changes the more and more it goes on. I don't know the full requirements. I haven't been able to trigger the changes here in single player. However, it does look really cool. So if you're going for an aesthetic base, it is still pretty cool. It is, you get it quite late into the game. It's not something that you get super early on. Because, let's see, the tribe tower, you get that at, yeah, 42. I guess depending on how quick you're rushing through levels, that's about, what, mid-game. Overall, the hanging barrels and the sound are pretty cool. And then the new makeshift lab is great. It has access to crafting a lot of like what the chem bench also has access to. And, you know, it's going to be a little bit more friendly. Not that you get it super early on, but it is made to, you know, overall be accessible for all of your element crafting, so for unstable, and then your shards, as well as your dusts, and then your basic chemicals like bug repellent and narcotics and all of that. It has a little bit faster of a crafting time than your standards. So, you know, it is a little bit better suited for end game if you're trying to pump through a lot of those resources. I do think, again, we're going to get a lot about the aesthetics here. I really do enjoy a lot of the, you know, smaller details like this, what looks to be like a chemical tube, just constantly bubbling like a lava lamp is really cool. And then it's just all of the small inner workings of the metal piping and the empty gas cans, because that's a lot of what this style is. Post-apocalyptic might not be my favorite, but it definitely can look really good if done correctly. You have your battle rigs. This is going to be a huge thing for a lot of people. They are very, very customizable, to the point where it's going to need an entire video of its own. But in here, if you access the battle rig, it's an entire, like, you can create a rig from scratch, which costs 10 element dust, 1 gasoline, and 10 metal ingots. But that just here, we're not going to go into a full lot, but oh damn. But we'll show you what it basically looks like. So you start off with a base shell or bones. I don't necessarily know what the right terminology for it is. And then you have a bunch of your parts, which a lot of them cost a lot of electronics and cementing paste, and then a more reasonable amount of metal. At first, when playing around with it, 10 metal didn't seem like it was a big deal, but then each part is running 180 and then 40, 40 electronics. The hide and fiber are pretty whatever. Cementing paste is not super hard to get, but you're then getting relatively expensive. You build it, you can pop in and out the parts. If you change your mind on an aesthetic, you can build a new part. I haven't found a way to dismantle a part that you had built if you changed your mind, and there is no preview other than the little icon down on the bottom. However, you start getting a lot of variations, and I'm sure creative people are going to go crazy with how they decorate this. Each different, piece has a different aesthetic, and as far as I can tell, relatively the same effects. So I feel like they're just there alternatively for, like, style. I guess the top part, like the trank gun and minigun, will have a big difference. Like, trank gun is probably going to be more team oriented for taming, and then your minigun's probably going to just be for attack, and then you have your flamethrower and missiles. You can not host, you can hold a few of them in here. I think this has a total of 100 and something. Oh, I lied. 100 slots, so you can hold 100 of your battle rigs at a time. If you have 100 battle rigs, then that's kind of wild. You have too much free time on your hands, and then you can take off the roof if you don't really want the hanging trike statues. So this is going to be a huge game changer because this is locked behind Bob's Tall Tales. It is 100% exclusive to that. So that is similar to Cosmo being behind a paywall on Aberration. This is behind a paywall here on Extinction. These, you can get them on every map, so as long as you have it unlocked. I'm not necessarily sure about official. This here is very graphic. It is the Bio Grinder. It is going to honestly, what is small, and we know that has a child. As much as I'm going to do something very horrendous and graphic, we're not going to do it. Oh, that's a raptor. We're not going to do it to that because that's kind of wild. Here, let's force tame this. So, let's force tame this. There we go. Ride that because now I don't need a saddle. Damn, trikes are real slow. And then you're going to see that the bigger and the more quality of a tame plus its level impacts substantially what you're going to receive from this item. It is fueled from gasoline, and it makes kibble. This is going to be extremely cruel, so if you're someone who gets really attached to your tames and or doesn't like to see graphic violence, then maybe Ark and or this isn't for you. But yeah, it just spews blood and guts everywhere until your dinosaur dies, and it spits kibble. So I threw a parasaur and a dodo in there to test out what it gives you, and it gave, between those two, they were both level 60, gave me 5 basic kibble. That trike just gave us 8 simple kibble. So, for example, the higher level things are going to give higher level kibble, and it is going to be a game changer if you set up like a breeding farm, let like Rexes grow up or something, and then just drop them onto this and have this constantly fueled. As much as that's a really gruesome, terrible thing, this is a post-apocalyptic world, so you gotta resort to what you gotta resort to for resources. Gross, scary, but absolutely interesting addition. You get the Bio Grinder, if I can spell, at level 85, so it's not going to make a huge impact on early game. Again, like I said, if you're playing on adjusted rates or you're fast, grinding out XP, it might have a little bit more of an impact than, not, but it is a disgustingly cool addition to the game. Well, with all of my rambling and everything like that, we have one last thing, and I think this is going to be the biggest thing that everybody cares about in this DLC. And if you haven't guessed, you haven't, been a little bit curious why I haven't mentioned it yet, it's the Armad Doo. I'm not going to get into how to tame it. It is a passive tame, and it does spawn all around the sanctuary. I have found 4 of them in the wild. 2 of them always had pups with them. And then that taming process is cool. Not going to demonstrate it right here, right now, but you throw its food on the ground and have like a little interactive mini game. There might be a video on that later. But you get to put armor on your doggo, and you get to have it follow you around with one of the accessories following. There's a large amount of them, like your spy kit gives you information from around there. It can hold a chibi. You have something really cool like a med kit, so it'll heal you when you're injured, or a sleeping bag so that it will, or you can spawn from its back, basically. And then you can have all of the extra stuff, like extra armor if you want him to be more of a tank. A bait trap, so that things will be more, dedicated to following it instead of you, as well as an ammo box and other stuff, so that it has a little bit more capacity. So the ammo box makes ammo lighter in its inventory, whereas the med kit, he just comes and helps you. Overall, you have a picnic set, so food and insulation, same as with the camping gear. Overall, its ability to not die is great. So turn companion mode on. It'll follow you around and interact with a lot of stuff for you. So that's where that will come into play. It will also find treasure and other things. This dog and this tame is probably going to be a huge impact on gameplay, similar to how Cosmo was a free biome traversal. This thing's going to find treasure chests unprompted, so you don't have to kill alphas or find treasure maps in loot boxes. He'll just get excited and pick up an item or pick up a treasure box out of nowhere. Overall, I think the stuff that they added to Bob's Tall Tales has been an exceptional addition to the game. If it's worth it to you, then that's up to you. I think that it is a great add-on, given, yes, we're getting all of the story maps, maybe not on time, but we are getting them back in the game. For everything that I've tested and ran around to almost every zone in Extinction, the map and the performance has been substantially better than Aberration. It also looks just as pretty as I would hope it does. Overall, I think that it is definitely worth it. That is up to you to decide. You do get everything for Extinction, plus you'll get everything for the other maps. As much as this is the last part of the DLC, who knows what Wildcard will do next. It's up to you to decide whether or not you get it. However, I think it's worth it, especially if you're playing official. If you enjoyed this, stick around, because I'll have probably a little bit more content from here and there, as usual. If you enjoy the content, like or subscribe or do whatever you want, because I'm still not your boss. Have a great day.